but we can use Google Translation as usual. This is the book of Ibn Hajar, volume number 2, page number 452. And this is a Sahih Hadith. Those things will tell us the behavior and the tradition of what is called the prophet. His tradition is to be kissed by men, to rub their body against his body. So what this guy he did, he came to Muhammad, he turned his back to Muhammad, his ass to Muhammad, and he was rubbing his body with Muhammad. Let's read together. It says here, there's a guy, his name is Zahir. Let's see if this is a page we want. Okay, here we go. And Zahir is not a good looking, by the way. The prophet, he came to him, and this man, Zahir, he was selling something. And he did hug him from behind. Who is hugging who? Muhammad is hugging the man from behind. The man, he said, who is this? Who is doing this? And then he turned his face to see who is that, who is hugging him from behind. He found the prophet. The man, he says, this is what turned me on. And then the prophet, he says, continue, supposedly he's joking. He says, who wanna buy a slave for me? He means this person who is he is hugging from his behind. And then it says here, وَجَعَلَ هُوَ يُلْصِقُ ظَهْرَهُ بِصَدْرِ النَّبِيِّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. And this man, he start attaching his chest, his body, sorry, his back, to the chest of the prophet. He's laying down, laying back on the prophet, like, you know, when a girl, she wanna play with her husband. And then he said to the prophet, do you think I am kased? Kased, which means nobody wanna sleep with me, nobody wanna buy me, you wanna offer me as a slave? Kased, kased, you can say it to a girl, she is not like a woman, nobody wanna marry her. So he's saying to him, do you think I am that kind? Let us use Google Translation. The reference, Al-Isaba, Ibn Hajar, then translation here coming weird. Part number 2, page number 452. And here you will see the rest of the story. How this man was in the market selling or buying, and then the prophet, he came from his back, he embraced him from behind, and the man, he said, who is this? Then he turned his face around and he recognized the prophet. The prophet, he said, who wanna buy a slave from me? Supposedly he's joking. The man, he said, the translation here is really coming very weird. Do you think I am not like, as I told you, like Cassad, like he is, nobody want to take me, nobody want to have me, what's wrong with you? You know, I'm supposed to both of them, they are now joking. And then Muhammad, on this guy, he start rubbing his chest. I'm trying to find where the translation is gone in the English. I think the translation is coming really is gone. Maybe the only way to do it correctly, if we take a part of the translation part by part. Let me use Google Translation. Give me a second. See, for me, I don't care for the Google Translation, but I'm just trying to help you. so he can see what I am seeing. So if we take it from here, here it says, because I'm really surprised how come the translation is not coming here. This part here says where he did attach his back to the chest of the prophet. If you use Google Translation again, let's try again here. Yeah, I don't see it. So we will take this part in Arabic and we will post it in Google Translation. Here we go. See, when you take the sentence alone, the translation comes better. And he made him stick his back to the chest of the prophet. Do you see it? So I just copy from the Arabic, which is not shown in the English translation when you translate the whole page. I copied this part, and I will do it again in front of you. I did copy longer part of it. Here we go. This is when Muhammad, he said, "Who wanna buy this slave from me?" And he made his back stick to the chest of the prophet. May Allah pray on him and pray for him. And he say, "Did you find me depressed to find somebody, a partner?" The prophet, he said, no, it's not alcoholic. But here you ask yourself, what kind of a prophet of God, he go in the street and he hug people from behind, and then the man, he stuck his body on Muhammad. Muhammad is still now in the back. All this conversation, Muhammad is still holding the guy from his back. The guy, he like it. Muhammad, he enjoy it. And the man, he lean his back all the way on the chest of Muhammad, which means he's making his head going in his shoulder. Is that a behavior of a straight man? You can say this is normal. For me, I find it very abnormal. A man is holding a guy from his back. That's normal for you. And then you stick your back to his chest and you lean your head in his shoulder. Is that normal? Are you used to it? Then if we go in the Quran, we will find that not a single time in the Quran it says to punish gays. Instead it's saying hurt them. Hurt them. How come there is a very harsh punishment in Islam for fornication, but there is no punishment for male gays? Those who do it, it says hurt them, and if they repent, you let them go. A Muslim might say to you, well, hurt them mean punishment. Let us see what is the punishment exactly we're talking about. This is in chapter 3. Actually, let's go to a different verse, better. Chapter 4 is what I wanted, actually. Verse number 16. If two persons did adultery, the Quran translation is saying, but the truth is, There's no man and there's no women here. It's about two men. This is why it says in Arabic, وَاللَّذَانِ. Ladhani is for two males. If you change the translation, right away you will see the fraud. Change it. Let us go to Bigtal. And if two of you were guilty, therefore, guilty of what? I mean, this translation is even more horrible. Change the translator. Mawdudi. Both of them punish them. What the heck is that? Punish who? Who? What they did exactly? All the translation is false. It says change the translator. Let us see Shakir. As for two who are guilty of indecency. What the heck is that? What indecency? I mean, do you see how this issue making big problem for the Muhammadan trying to hide the stupidity? Muhammad Asad and punish them both. Both who? Those who you find them guilty. Guilty of what? What's wrong with the Muhammadan? Change the translator. Mubarak Kuki, whatever his name. If two persons among you commit illegal sexual intercourse, is that what it says really? We change him. Khattab, Khattab, the same. Let us go to the interpretation and you will see how they lie. Chapter 4, verse number 16. And this is the Islamic interpretation. I hope the site is not down. It's taking time to open. Here you will notice how the Muslim, they try to hide what they have in their books. Chapter 4, verse number 16. And by the way, if the Muslim, they say this verse is about a man and a woman only, that means there's no verse in the Quran. All of it is about homosexuality. For me, even better to prove my point. It says here, and when two of you commit what? Adultery or homosexuality, intercourse. Punish them both with insult and beating with sandals. But if they repent for homosexuality act, just let them go. And here he says, obviously here what's meant, that homosexuality is a fornication. And what is the punishment for it? You beat them with your sandals. This is Tafsir al-Jalalain. We can go to Ibn Abbas. We can go to Ibn Kathir. There is no penalty in Islam for homosexuality. As you see, beat them with sandals. Beat them with sandals. Let us go to Ibn Kathir. All right, this is Ibn Kathir. Ibn Abbas said from Jubair, he said the punishment include cursing, shaming them, and beating them with sandals. And then here he says this is abrogated by stoning, but Muhammad, Quran never say anything about that. This is something later the Muslim they add. There's not a one time in the Quran it says you do punish homosexual. It says hurt. And how? Beat them by sandals. Why the Quran make a big deal if a woman she sleep with a man, but it's not a big deal if a man sleep with a man? Why the Quran never make a punishment, harsh punishment as he do for fornication? If you are a single person, we will whip you back 80 times. Some they do 100 times. But this is a homosexual act. And what is the penalty? We hurt them by beating them by sandals. This is the order of Allah. Then the Muslims, after Muhammad he died, they claim that Muhammad he ordered to kill the homosexual. Why Allah never said in the Quran such a punishment? Why he did not add it? I find there is no solution for this except that Muhammad himself, he was a homosexual. And all his friends, they were homosexual. And he don't want them to run away from his religion. And he don't want to expose himself in the same time. Because if he come with a punishment, they will say to him, what about you? If we go and check about homosexual in town, we will find that Muhammad, he used to have homosexuals staying all day long in his home. Homosexual in the house of Ali, homosexual in the house of Umar, homosexual in the house of the Prophet, homosexual in the house of every caliphate. Why they are there? How much the society is full of them. Kick them out from your houses. But Muhammad himself, he have homosexual in his house. Umar, he have homosexual in his house. As you see in front of you. All those hadith says that there is homosexual in the house of the caliphate of Muhammad. They are all over the town. And this is a hadith we mentioned before, as long we are passing by, about a bunch of Muslims. They came to the Caliphate Uthman, and they were complaining that the guy in front of them, the Imam, is a homosexual. And he is tempting them by his ass. So he said, the Muslim who came to the Caliphate, he said, we are afraid of being sinful in following him. Uthman, he said, well, prayer is the best of deeds. So do the good deed when people do good deed. And don't do the bad deed. Avoid it when people do bad deeds. But look what happened here. It says here, we are afraid of this guy because he's a leader of al-fitna. Fitna means temptation, trial, affliction, etc. So how in the world the Muslim, they are facing a trial, being tempted by a guy, he's a gay, just because he pray in front of them, unless they are gays too. How you can be tempted by the ass of a man unless you are a person who like ass of men? That's what the hadith is saying. They are afraid to be sinful, trials, affliction. And then the guy, he says, well, look like the caliphate, he is forcing us to pray behind him. So he said, as Zuhri said, in our opinion, one should not offer salat behind a feminine person unless there is no alternative. And this is Al-Bukhari. Let us continue. Homosexual in the house of the Prophet, as you see in front of you, sitting with the wives of Muhammad. All this time they are there. What happened now? Because people, they start talking about Muhammad and his behavior. Muhammad want to show him that he is not like that. So kick them from your house. Then Umar, he kick one from his house. Muhammad, he kick one from his house. Uthman, he kick one from his house. So look like they are all over the houses. Shall we continue, or we have enough for today? Let us show you. Let us go to Umar ibn al-Khattab, the most close friend to Muhammad. I will show you something. You will die laughing. This is a book. It's called Fathul Bari. Ibn Hajar, very big, famous scholar. And Aisha, she asked a homosexual. His name is Anna. Can you lead us to a woman? But she is asking about a male, not a woman. Can you lead us? Let me see if I can find it here. Actually, in this reference here, it says that a gay, he used to come always to the house of Muhammad, and Muhammad, he never have a problem with that. Until one day, a person, his name is Khalid, he said something very insulting. So Muhammad, he said to his wife, from now on, you don't let this guy to enter your house. And he called him Khabith, not because he is a homosexual, because he is like, you know, not a good person. He's playing games. He's saying lies. Let us see. Okay. I can share this hadith, but I wanna find the other one. Give me a second here. We want something else. Very, very weird. Here we go, I found it. The same book, Fath al-Bari, Ibn Hajar, volume number 9, page number 292 or 392. It says, Aisha, she said, she asked a homosexual in the city of Medina, can you lead us to a woman so we can marry her to Abdul Rahman ibn Abu Bakr? Then this guy, he started describing the women, which came with 4 and end with 4. This is a description of a homosexual in the hadith. He come with 4 and he go back with 4. So the gay, Aisha, she's asking a gay to find a female gay, which means a man who is a female. So he told her about a gay who is good for that, to marry him to, as a female, to this guy Abdul Rahman. Then the Prophet, he heard that. And then Muhammad, he told him, get out of the Medina to the Hamra, and there you live in that house. Let us use the translation, Google translation, peace be upon him. And now how we will find, where is that? This is the name of the book, page number 292, not 392, 292, volume number 9, Ibn Hajar. And it says, where to see, I'm trying to find where the story is ended now, and the translation is messed up. Find us to marry. Let us search for the word Aisha. Aisha said to, okay. Where is that? It's lost in the translation. I can't even find it. Where is, let me go back to Arabic. I cannot find it in the English translation. It have to be, let us see how many lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, like here, you go here, here you will find it. So it should be in the middle of the page. But I don't find it. See, the translation is coming really messed up. Maybe we should use Google Translation again. You know? So anyway, Aisha, she asked a mukhannath to find a female, supposedly a woman, but this woman obviously is a gay. ووصف امرأة تقبل بأربع وتدبر بثمان. So she come with 4 and she go back with 8. Now you might be confused about that. This is how to describe homosexual. If you go there, here when we say mukhannath, it says the same. إذا أقبلت بأربع. See the translation here? It's almost the same story. So when she comes forward with 4, and between 2 brackets the fold in her stomach, and when she goes back with 8. How? Don't ask me. I don't know what exactly they meant by that. And the Prophet then, he says, don't let this guy come here again. So she was asking him about a gay to marry Abdul Rahman. And the guy, he understood very well what they are looking for. and he offered them a female gay, which is a male. And then Muhammad, he got upset, not because, by the way, of what he said, because somebody made a comment later about it, as we showed you in the book there. Let's continue. Look at this hadith I just found. In the book of As-Suyuti, we cannot open the website. Let us see. I found the website, but it says you cannot open it. Okay. Yeah, it looked like a scam website. Too bad. In this book here, it says that there was 5 people who they are very well known big gays, and one of them is Omar. I could not open the website or the book. There's a hadith about Muhammad being raped by Bahisa. I forgot that one. Let's see if we can find it. Maybe we can find this one in English. Okay, let's see. Maybe we cannot find it in English. Let us choose the Arabic then. Let's see. The book of As-Sirah An-Nabawiyya, Ibn Hisham, volume number 2, page number 401. 2 men, they came to Muhammad and they asked to join him. Salama, the wife, she said to Muhammad, Messenger of Allah, your cousin and your cousin, both like the one cousin from his father's side and your cousin from your mother's side, and your son-in-law, they want to meet you. He said, I don't have a need of them. Regarding my cousin, he is the one who hataka ardi. Hataka al-ard is somebody raping somebody. So, if this man did not rape the daughter of Muhammad or his wife, he raped who? He says, he did rape me. Google translation. Translation is coming very funny. here it says, you see, he destroyed my honor. Here, like, is my honor, the translation is coming bad. So he is the one who ripped my honor, you know. Hatkul ard in Arabic is you raping somebody, having sexual relationship, usually with a woman, she is not yours. Doesn't matter who. A woman, she is not yours. And this is usually happened against your will, mostly. But if the girl, she agrees, still the guy, he will say, well, this guy, he did that to me because he did rip my honor by sleeping with a daughter or with his sister. So either they were raping him, or they were having a rape to his own daughter, and this is nowhere in history reported that Muhammad's daughter has been raped. So who is the one who been raped? Let's find more reference. Let's see if we can find this one. Muhammad, he liked to show his legs. The Prophet, he was laying down in my bed, and his thigh is uncovered. Abu Bakr, he came. Muhammad, he did not change the way he is sitting. This is similar to the story about Muhammad was wearing the clothes of Aisha, remember? But now Muhammad is showing all the way to his, you know, at that time they don't wear underwear. Remember that, you know, there's no underwear. So it's all the way showing that to the top of his leg. And Muhammad is welcoming men coming to his house sitting in such a way. So he did not cover, and he stayed in the same state. Abu Bakr is there. Umar, he came, he did not cover. Uthman, he came, and then he covered himself. And he says the reason he did that, because the angels, they will be shy from Uthman. This is a very similar story for the one, but at that time we mentioned to you, it was about him wearing the clothes of Aisha. Let's see different hadith. What about Muhammad? He go to the door and he opened his door. And he is wearing nothing, welcoming a man inside his house. It says here, from Zayd, etc., etc., Messenger of Allah was in his house. So he sent and knocked at the door. So the Messenger of Allah stood naked, dragging his garment, which means dragging it behind him, but he's naked, he's not wearing anything. And he said, this is the only time I saw him naked. And not only that, he hugged him and he kissed him. He did what? He's totally naked. He hugged him and he kissed him. I don't know how many references I need to keep giving, but it's endless. All of them, they lead us to understand who is Muhammad. He never come with the punishment in the Quran for homosexuality, for gays specifically, for men. He said just hurt them, and if they repent, let them go. How come? Which one is more bad for Islam then? If a woman, she sleep with a man, or if a man sleep with a man? Obviously, the lowest punishment or the lowest bad for Islam is a man sleeping with a man. Otherwise, this should be a clear punishment in the Quran for such a thing. But as you see, it says just hurt them. In the case of lesbian, Muhammad, he says if two women, they do commit the act of lesbian, you jail them in their houses, which means they can continue having sex together, but put them together in the same room and don't let them go out until they die. In the same chapter, we are reading verse number 15. This is about lesbian. This is about gays, homosexual men. And for sure, depend in the translation, and all translation they lie, but there's no Muslim can deny that number 15 is about women and number 16 is about men. Actually, look, we just changed the translation here. This is Yusuf Ali. It says, if two men among you, now how clear we can make it now? If two men, finally there's one of them, he have decency. If two men among you are guilty of loudness, punish them both. If they repent, let them go. Leave them. Well, how come you don't leave them in case of a different... if a woman, she is having sex with... she is married. What we do, we stone her. So which one is ugly for Islam more? A woman cheating or two men having sex? If a woman, she is having sex and she is single, we whip her back harshly. But if two gays having sex, we hurt them, we insult them. And if they stop, we let them go. So it's so clear that the Quran never considered homosexuality a crime. Otherwise, the punishment should be severe. And as you see, there's not a single time a punishment mentioned. But if a single man have sex with a woman, and both of them they are singles, we have to whip their back 100 times. How many times we whip his back here? Not zero. How many times we whip the back of a woman? 100 times. So which one consider like a bad sin in Islam? The woman and the man who is guilty for illegal sexual, and by the way, the verse never says if they are married or not. It says men and women. This is how stupid the Quran is. Then the Muslim, they says to you, oh, this is about single women. Why? Because the Hadith later says something else about married. But as you see, the Quran never mentioned that if a woman, she is married, there's a punishment for her. Or a man is married, there's a punishment for him. We knew that there is a verse which is supposed to the goat ate it, but as long as it's not there, it's not there. So if a man and a woman, they have illegal sexual intercourse, flog each one of them 100 stripes. What is the penalty of a homosexual? Why Muhammad never consider it as part of his religion? If you say to me in the hadith, it says this hadith is not even sahih. And even if it's sahih, is Muhammad correcting the Quran? Or maybe because the Quran is a book of deception and the Quran don't dare to offend the society, because the society around Muhammad and Muhammad himself was a homosexual. Not a single verse in the Quran telling us to punish homosexual. The translation here in front of you says punish them. In Arabic it says فَآذُوهُمَا, hurt them. That is the punishment. How? We go to Tafsir, we find beat them with sandals. Beat them with sandals. Curse them. Insult them. Shaming them. Beat them with sandals. So if a woman is having sex with a man, we beat the hell of them. By a long belt made from leather, the one we beat the animal with it, at that time, 100 times will kill you. Many people don't survive it, they die from pain. Unless the beating is done in Indonesia, where the sheikh was committing fornication, they were whipping him by a feather. Like, because he is their sheikh. 100 times. If a female and male had fornication, and a homosexual, the punishment for him is beat him with sandals. Curse him, shame him, which means you do not need to beat him with sandals, just curse him, shame him. Or throw your sandal at them. I don't know, in this case, I mean, a homosexual, he might get horny for that. So when somebody says he have a religion, obviously Islam is not a religion. And it's so clear that Muhammad's behavior is very strange and very weird. And 99.9% he is a homosexual. And not to mention that Muhammad, he promised Muslim in heaven that you will have sex with images. And he promised men and women to have sex with those images. And the images is images of men. Let me find the hadith. I forgot to mention this one. Actually, I have a debate, many debates before, in case you remember, with Muslims. And the Muslim, they said to me, so what the problem? In heaven, there is no sin. In heaven, you know, they can be homosexual. What the problem? What is exactly the problem? He is going for sure agree with the man. He want to have sex with him. There's no problem with Muhammad saying that. Huh? Okay, isn't it your prophet? Isn't it your prophet? He said that in the heaven there's a market, and this market there's images of men and women.
Show me, no problem.
And you know, if you wish to have sex with the with any image, men or women, you go right away and you enter the image and you have sex with it. Read the hadith for me, please.
Okay.
Here we go.
What is the problem?
The problem is that in the heaven of Allah, it's granted for you. Even there's a market in heaven where you can go to the market. In the mall, there's nothing but images of men and women, but the customers are men, as you see in the hadith. So whenever a man he wish a desire of an image, but images are images of men and women. So when a Muslim man have a desire of any image, he enter it to have sex with it. So now if somebody, what the problem is, you go in the heaven in Las Vegas. Okay, we are walking in Las Vegas. You saw an image of Michael Jackson. You will have sex with Michael Jackson.
About,
huh?
The heaven is not there. Are you saying this is a sin?
So having sex with Michael Jackson in heaven for you as a man is not a sin, correct?
My friend, are you saying this is a sin?
For me, yes, it's a sin. It's a sin. Yeah, it's a big sin. For me, it's a sin. I'm a Christian. Huh?
In the heaven, there is no sin. You will never be judged in the heaven.
Okay. If Muhammad is not a homosexual, why he promised his men a heaven of homosexual? This Muslim, we heard him, and we have another video. The guy, he said, so what the problem? What the problem if a man have sex with a man? In heaven there is no sin. He repeat the same thing. What? He said to me, the Christian prince, why you don't want to understand? In heaven there is no sin. I said, what if somebody want to have sex with you? No problem. What if somebody want to have sex with the Prophet? No problem. The Quran says, whatever you desire, you will have. Any desire. Actually, Muhammad, he says, whatever forbidden in this earth is going to be lawful for you in heaven. Can you believe it? I say to the guy, what about somebody who want to have sex with his daughter? He said, it's okay. With his mother, it's okay. There's no sin in heaven. They keep repeating for me, saying there's no sin in heaven. What's wrong with you? What if somebody want to have sex with the Prophet? He said, so what problem? Whatever you wish. Let me see if I can find the other hadith. Let us see. So you are saying to us, in the heaven of Allah, everybody he have sex with anyone, man with man, with your children. What about children? You can have sex with your children too, right? Because whatever you wish. There's many people, they are sick in their mind. There's people, they are sick in their mind. They like to have sex with their children. What do you think about having sex with the children? Do you agree with that in the heaven too? What if somebody decide? What if somebody wish? What if somebody wish to have sex with your son in the heaven of Allah?
It is you who will do it. Know this, because all you are thinking is about if in the heaven.
Well, your God Allah, if your God Allah, he says if, isn't it your God Allah, he says if? Your God Allah keeps saying if. How come Allah can see an if? I cannot say if. Here we go. You are the one who say it to me. If he wished to have it, you are the one who used the word if. So you can use it, I cannot use it. Why? Here we go. You are in heaven, and now you like to have sex with the children, and you are saying to me, there's no objection. You a Muslim, we can have sex with male and female, children and adult. What if a guy he want to have sex with a donkey? Is it okay?
Can I answer?
Sure, go ahead.
We know that in Islam, the people when he go to heaven, he will not have the same quality as in the earth.
Yeah, you have a lot more ugly quality. Obviously, you became more ugly because you just said to me, in the heaven of Allah, you will turn to be addicted to sex. You have sex with everything on your way. I'm sure if you go to the heaven and you see a hole in the wall, you will put your penis there, because nothing is forbidden no more. In the earth, you Muslims, you have a fatwa that you can have sex with watermelon. I can show it to you. Watermelon, even watermelon, you have sex with it. So in the heaven, if in the earth you are doing this, in the heaven, will you do what? You will have sex with watermelon, you will have sex with the fig, you will have sex with the rabbit, you will have sex with the birds, you will have sex with the cats, you will have sex with boys. I mean, there's no limitation in the heaven of Allah. So the heaven of Allah is nothing but a porn palace.
Are you finished?
Go ahead, I'm listening.
You think about sex in the earth because this you need it to live, but in the heaven, you have a new creation.
Yeah,
so
but
all
okay.
that you are thinking that has nothing to do with the earth.
So why your prophet is promising you or just sex in the heaven? If this has nothing to do with the earth, why your prophet even he promised you that in the heaven your penis will never go soft and you will f as many as you wish? Why he promised you that the man in the heaven he will have the power of 40 men for bang bang? If this is different creation, or what we see that you became more addicted to sex, you are not out of sex, you became worse. So in earth you have a power of 1 man, but in the heaven you need more because you will have the power of 40 men.
Are you finished?
Yeah, each time I say something to you, you say to me, are you finished? But you didn't say anything. Did your God Allah, did your prophet, he promised you the power of 40 men, and he promised you that your penis will never go sleep. Anyway, as you see, we have tons of those debates, and all the Muslims, they say to us, well, there's no problem. In the heaven of Allah, everything is possible because the Quran promises us whatever we wish. It doesn't matter what you wish. Anything you wish. As long you wish it, you will have it. Guaranteed. Sex with your family, sex with your mother, sex with your daughter, it doesn't matter. And here I'm showing you that to show you the quality. If Muhammad is from the quality, different from the quality we are saying, then Muhammad should not be saying what he is promising. He should not. You see, when the Bible says, from their fruit you shall know them, let me find this hadith here. If Muhammad has the quality, which the Muslims they try to spread around, lying about the quality of their prophet, then the quality prophet, he will come with a quality statement, and the quality statement will have with the quality teaching. And the quality teaching have to come with the quality practicing. But as you see, Muhammad neither has a quality of practicing or ethic or promises can take us anywhere except sexuality, and even sex with men. This is a hadith which is very clear in front of us. Muslims, they try to wash their hands from it. They say to you, this is da'if. I can show you from different references saying it is sahih. So da'if is sahih, and sahih is da'if when they want. What kind of a prophet he promised you? That there is a market of images, Playboy magazines, and the images are images of men and women, and if a man he wish, he will sleep with the image. I forgot to mention, maybe I will close with this one. Muhammad, he claimed that he'd been raped by a bunch of black people. According to Muhammad, a bunch of black men, they start riding Muhammad, and they were totally naked. They spent the whole day riding Muhammad. A Muslim might say to you, he is lying. Well, let us go and see. This is the book of Musnad Ahmad, very number 1, page number 299. And the story here says that Muhammad, he arrived to a place, and he found there people who they are so black and naked. There's no clothes on them. He could not see their private parts. They are naked. They are tall. They are skinny. And they start riding Muhammad, one after one. And Muhammad was reading Quran for them while they were riding him. And then they came around the other guy, the companion of Muhammad. And he was terrified of them. And Muhammad, when he came back to this guy, which means the guy is not there with them, with Muhammad, he was so heavy, which means he cannot move, so tired, and he was on pain. Why he was in pain? Mimma rakibuh, because of how many times they dried him. You might say Christian Prince is making a lie now. Let us use Google translation. Translate. Musnad Ahmad, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, volume number 1, page number 399. We go down here. The translation is saying they are like zombies. That is a false translation. You know, it's talking about they are black. Stupid Google. So they are black and they are naked and they have no clothes on them. As you see, they have no clothes on them. And the guy, he is describing what Muhammad told him. You know, Muhammad is the one who been ridden by them. They were tall and they have little flesh, which means they are skinny. And I was frightened of them. But look what it says here. Here we go. And when the Messenger of Allah, he came back, he was heavy with pain, or almost like, you know, he is like just dying from pain. From what they have rode, they did rode him. They did rode Muhammad all day long, one after one. We don't know how many there are. All what they know, that they are black, they are tall, they are skinny, and they were wearing nothing. And they were riding Muhammad. And Muhammad, he came back, and he was suffering from pain because of how much they rode him. He said, I find me heavy. Or he said, the Messenger of Allah, he is in pain, he's heavy. Do you see it? Translation here is not good. But what we can do, I mean, this is the only way to share with you. I mean, oh, you see, find me one thing about this man, it doesn't make, it's not wrong. He been raped, according to him. Black people raping him, riding him all day long. Why black people will ride Muhammad? You tell me. If you're a Muslim, you tell me. Muslim, they claim that those are genie. Why they are genie? Or because they are black? They are genie and they are black. And they are human. I mean, what I will mention and what I will not mention, it is endless. This guy, he have a sexual desire for children. He have sexual desire for men. You see, why I want to promise men they will have sex with men unless I like it? Why the Quran mentioned that you will have boys who they are white like pearls around you? What is exactly the joy of that? Why they are boys? Why they are so white? Why they are like pearls? Why we are describing the beauty of those boys? What that will do to a Muslim in heaven? According to Muslims, those are the bar boys. The bar of wine served by boys. A Muslim, he go and sit in the bar to enjoy his night in the heaven. The guy who is, there's 80,000 of them, by the way. 80,000 for each Muslim, and this is the lowest reward. I mean, for me, one thing is not sexual, is not horribly wrong, is not ugly and disgusting. Why anyone would I approve child abuse? Those are boys. And they are like pearls. What is exactly the joy you are giving me there? Which one is going to be better? A woman serving you the wine or a boy and he is white? like pearl. Just ask yourself a question. You are in the heaven of Muhammad and you are in the bar of Allah, because Allah obviously is Satan. And now you are going to ask the bar guy for wine. He's a boy. And he's so white. And he's so good looking. Even the different verse says that they will not bleed. The Muslim, they will say to you, oh, here they mean they will not get drunk. So the promise of heaven leads us to understand that Muhammad is a homosexual. The behavior on earth proved to us that Muhammad is a homosexual. Muhammad even cannot have sex. He liked to be done, not to be doing. How we prove it? He have 0 kids. The Muslim, they say to you that Muhammad, he have Fatima as a daughter. That is a big fat lie. He have 0 kids. Those are the daughters of Khadija. How come Muhammad, he have a bunch of kids from Khadija, but suddenly he cannot have kids no more? Those are the kids of Khadija's before Muhammad. She married 2 husbands before him. And Khadija, she cannot have kids no more. She's way older than him. When the hadith says that the Prophet, he imagined himself having sex, but in fact he never did, that is showing us that Muhammad is trying to avoid to have sex with his wives. He married those women, not to sleep with them, but to spread his religion. Even the Muslim, they say to you that Muhammad was doing political, business. So he married a woman so her tribes or her family will support him. But you don't have sex with them. Even the hadith exposed Muhammad. When a woman, she came to Muhammad and she said that she is having orgasm, the wife of Muhammad, she said, do women have orgasm? The wife of Muhammad never, ever had orgasm. She don't know even what orgasm means. Do women have this charge? Salama, she said. Imagine your wife. You are married her for many years, and she never learned that women can have orgasm. Why? This is his wife, it's not the neighbor. Imagine the neighbor, she have orgasm from a dream. The wife, she have Muhammad himself in the bed and she could not ever have orgasm. And she could not believe it, that women, they have this charge. And for sure here Muhammad, he said something stupid. He says that the man or the boy or the child resemble the parents based on that orgasm. If the woman, she comes first, the baby will be a girl. If the boy, if the man came first, the baby will be a boy. So always, all streets, all reference lead us to one thing. Muhammad is not straight. There's no way a prophet of God, he promises men and boys in heaven unless he is a homosexual. That is impossible. You promise them what they dream of and what you dream of. When somebody come to you, let us say you have a birthday, and he come to you and he have a gift. A religious person, he will come to you and he will bring you a religious book. Or maybe these days, maybe a videotape of, Bible lecturer. A guy who like games, he will be you a CD of games. A guy who likes food, he will bring you food. A guy who likes porn, he will bring you porn. And that is Muhammad. He is the man of porn. He lived for porn, and he is nothing but porn. And no way that he was a straight man. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Shaving his body, eyeliner, be like a woman, men kiss him down his belly, showing his body to men, kissing men when he was naked, homosexual in his house. He never made a punishment for homosexual in the Quran. And the punishment which is coming later, nobody knows who is the one who added. And I challenge the Muslim to show me one gay he was punished in the time of Muhammad. Because if it's true, it's going to be in the Quran. How come this God in the Quran, he have time to tell us funny, stupid stories about the end of Solomon? But he don't have time to make a clear penalty of what homosexual is. The only place the Quran confirms something, it was a story from the Bible where it's the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. My opinion, that Muhammad is a homosexual person to the bone. He married women as a cover-up, as part of his business. If you go and check all the women he married from, he was using them. But I don't believe really he can have sex with them. You see, Aisha, she was at the age of 6. If Muhammad really had sex with her, he will kill her. There's no way he did. Muhammad, he go and he spend the night there, but he don't have sex with them. And even during the night, we will find that Salman al-Farisi is there. Dihya al-Kalbi is there. And even he claimed that the angel Jibreel is the same as Dihya as a look. Just to give excuse to himself why this man is staying late in his house alone. How I can explain it? The answer is very simple. I will say that Jibreel is Dihya al-Kalbi, and he come to me in the image of this person. So anytime anyone, even my wives, if they come inside the room and they find this guy in my room, they will not question what the guy is doing. The angel of God, which is an ancient angel, exists before Islam. He decides suddenly to take the image of a man who is the most close boyfriend to Muhammad, and he is the most handsome boy in the tribe of Quraysh. He could not find any image to take for himself except the image of the boyfriend of Muhammad. So now we have two Dihya al-Kalbi, the real one and the angel. Who want to believe in that? It was just an excuse for Muhammad to stay with the man alone, and nobody questioned in case somebody came and they saw him with him. I hope we learned something good for today, and feel free to download the video. As you know, I don't keep my videos for long. I will keep this one maybe for 3-4 hours, and then we will take it down. Thank you all for being here. May the Lord bless you. Until we see you soon again. Christ is Lord, and Muhammad obviously is the last one to be called the prophet of God. He has 0 prophecies. After all what the Muslims they say, We can debunk them one by one. They have zero ethic. From their fruits you shall know them. Talk is cheap. Fruit, only what count. Thank you.
But I mean, again, he doesn't know who Gabriel is, right? Because he didn't come from an Abrahamic faith. The people of Mecca were pagan.
Quran is mentioned, if this book was from other than God, they would have found in it many contradictions.
If a book is without contradictions, that has no bearing on whether it comes from God or not. I've had phone books that are inerrant, but I certainly don't think God gave them.
That we believe without understanding.
The brother asked a very important question, that most of the scholars say that listening to music, watching movies, and most of the television programs, they're haram. So how can we have fun? Let me tell you, brother, at the outset, that having fun is permitted in Islam as long as the fun is halal fun.
That the standard narrative has holes in it.
The Prophet tells us because Satan or the devil sleeps over our nostrils. Those who oversleep and not pray Fajr on time, Satan urinates in their
I
ears.
really do think Jesus was crucified and that he really was dead and buried. He thought that he was a son of God in the sense that he was specially chosen by God. I think Jesus really did think he was going to be the Messiah, the future king of Israel. I mean, that is, after all, why they crucified him,